this day and time, nature is calling out to her children to realign with her. She is calling out for all of her children. She has bestowed special inner gifts to learn to cultivate these gifts that will heal the world. In this day and time, nature has sent me to you and you to me in order for myself, Dr. Neb Haru, to teach you and instruct you on how to bring these special gifts to the forefront of your life in order for you to become a living success and a master of destiny known as a NUNOLOGIST. Nupu-Nun is the energy of nature, and NUNOLOGY is the science of how to realign yourself back with almighty eternal nature. If you are finally ready to take off the veil of the illusions of Christianity, the veil of the illusions of Islam, the veil of the illusions of Judaism and the many world religions, then the science of NUNOLOGY is for you. Welcome home, O child of nature. Welcome back into the eternal family of infinite blackness. Hotep, peace. The neuron in your brain are cells that act by way of masculine and feminine energy. Your neurons, nunologists, send and receive electrochemical signals to and from your brain and your nervous system. There are neurons throughout your whole entire God body. 100 billion neurons plus make up your brain alone. Remember, nunologists, that masculine means to send out, active, as in to activate, or action, and feminine means incoming, receive, as in to be receptive or reception, to channel in or open the channel, gateway, or inner portal. Nunologists, this is the nature of nature and how nature works. Oh, nunologists, we must begin to realize, study, and become aware of the inner workings of our brain and entire body. Nunologists, the neuron is made up of a cell body, also known as the soma, which branches signals receivers known as dendrites, and a projection called an axon, which conduct the nerve signal. At the opposite end of the axon, there is something known as the axon terminal. The axon terminal is the gap or space between the axon terminal and the receiving cell. Nunologists, you might be wondering how the neuron functions and operates. Your neuron has a body, a long tail, and many branches. Each nerve cell is connected with thousands of other nerve cells by these branches, which almost touch each other, called dendrites. From the end of each branch of dendrites, chemicals are sent out and picked up by the nearest branch of another neuron. When a chemical message is received by a neuron, again, when a chemical message is received by a neuron, it is carried through its branches by electricity. This is the fundamentals of how your brain works, through electrical messages and impulses. Again, this is the fundamentals of how your brain works, through electrical messages and impulses. Millions upon millions of messages are being sent through your brain at each second. This is how the brain does its work, to communicate to the rest of the body through chemical-like messages, electricity. Besides neurons, there are other cells in your brain known as ganglia cells. These cells act like cement and hold neurons in place. They also help feed the neuron. This is the function of the neuron. Nunologists, there are also tiny neurons throughout your body doing the work of almighty eternal nature. There are motor or motoneurons that carry signals from your central nervous system, known also as the CNS, to your muscles and endocrine glands. Then you have sensory neurons that are messages from your body's sense receptors. An example, your eyes, your ears, etc., to your central nervous system. And lastly, you have interneurons. You have interneurons that form all the neural wiring within your central nervous system. The interneurons have two axons instead of an axon and a dendrite. One of the axons communicates with the spinal cord and one with either the skin or muscles. All of this is taking place through neural signaling. Again, all this is taking place through neuronal signaling. Neuronal signaling. Nunologists, the best way to understand neuronal signaling is to look into your nervous system. Unbeknown to most, the purpose of our nervous system is to transfer information. Again, unbeknown to most, the purpose of our nervous system is to transfer information from the peripheral nervous system, also known as the PNS, to your central nervous system, also known as the CNS. Process that information in the central nervous system and send back the information to the peripheral nervous system. This transfer of information from the external, meaning outer environment, through your neurons and back again to the external outer environment is known as neuronal signaling. So that is to say, when information is coming from outside in, and your nervous system is processing this information and is sending it back out through your aura, back out to the environment. You understand? This is known as neuronal signaling. You're picking up on the signal. Inside, outside, and all around you. Here is the nunology of the process of how neuronal signaling works. Before a neuron, or before your neuron receives a signal, it is in a resting state. Neurons receive signals two ways or two forms. First, the first form is chemical changes. This is done via a neurotransmitter. Synaptic transmission. Neurotransmitter meaning taking place in your brain, or chemical elements in the environment. An example, olfactory receptor neurons. The second one is physical changes. Example include touch receptors in the skin or photoreceptors in the retina, in the eye. These signals cause your ions to fluctuate in your neurons' plasma membrane, which creates an electrical current flow in your brain neurons. This electrical current flow travels down the axon, perhaps long distance through action potential. When the current reaches the terminal buttons, neurotransmitters are released to other neurons or the environment. Now you can see how there is intelligence running throughout your entire body. Intelligence in the form of coded messages. Again, intelligence in the form of coded messages or light messages from the light messenger known as your neurotransmitter. Each thought you are experiencing are firing off electrical chemicals of light waves. And the light messenger, which is the neurotransmitter, is responsible, nunologists, for sending these messages to your conscious and subconscious awareness and all throughout your body. The neuron, as powerful as it may be, feeds off dark energy and dark matter. Again, the neuron, as powerful as it may be, feeds off dark energy and dark matter, the black light of eternal existence. See, nunologists, every thought that you are experiencing is building or strengthening neural pathways, which are determining your future throughout the course of the day and throughout one's lifetime. Again, nunologists, every thought that you are experiencing is building or strengthening neural pathways, which are determining your future throughout the course of the day and throughout one's lifetime. This is known as neuroplasticity. Neurologists, neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to recognize itself by forming new neural connections throughout one's lifetime. That is to say, neurologists, that any one thing or things that you are doing at any given moment, you are training your brain to grow better at doing it. This works for positive habits or actions as well as negative habits or negative actions. Nunologists, this is why it is so important to monitor and observe your own thoughts. Your brain is a gift from Almighty Eternal Nature. We must learn how to properly use it. Again, your brain is a gift from Almighty Eternal Nature. We must learn how to properly use it. Knowing the science of your brain's neurons is a major step in taking back your power and mastering your own destiny as a nunologist. Thoughts become things. Again, thoughts become things. And now we know the science behind why they become things. So in knowing the science of neuroplasticity and the science of the phrase thoughts become things, you now have the power as a nunologist to reshape and remold your lives. Whenever you want to take on any higher quality of thought or habit, all you have to do is train your brain by doing it over and over. Again, whenever you want to take on any new quality of thought or habit, all you have to do, nunologist, is train your brain by doing it over and over. Nunologist, the power of vision also ties into neuroplasticity. Again, the power of vision also ties into neuroplasticity by way of what is known as the mirror neuron. What is a mirror neuron, you may ask? A mirror neuron is a neuron that fires both when a human being acts and when a human being observes the same action performed by another. Again, a mirror neuron is a neuron that fires both when a human being acts and when a human being observes the same action performed by another. Nunologist, the mirror neuron, also known as the empathy neuron, connects us to other people, allowing us to feel what others feel and experience. Mirror neurons or empathy neurons respond to our imagination or the image of ourselves, the self-image. And because this happens, we can experience emotional feedback that is coming from others as if it was coming from ourselves. We literally tap into how they are feeling on a subconscious to conscious level of awareness. Nunologists, you must realize that these mirror neurons, or empathy neurons, as they are also known, do not know the difference between ourselves and others. This is the reason why so many in this day and time try so hard to fit in and need acceptance from others. They are searching for validation from outside forces. People are searching for an identity. Nunologists, this is why the science of nunology is so important in this day and time. You are learning how to build, how to strengthen, and take back control of that inner kingdom so you will not become slaves to outside forces that don't mean you any good. You take back control of your life now as a master of destiny. Oh, nunologists, all of this is to say that the mirror neuron is a 180-degree reflection of the world within and the world without. As above, so below. You, as a nunologist, being the cosmic cause of your own reality. It is a mirror neuron. It is a mirror world. Listen to the word. Mirror neuron. Mirror, as in reflection. Reflect or refract, as in light waves refracting off a surface and bouncing back. This is known as the law of reflection. Also taken from the old French, mirror, meaning observation, mirador, from mirror, to look at, observe, watch, contemplate, from mirari, to wonder at, admire, and neuron, meaning nerve, strength, or vigor. The inner workings of darkness manifesting the so-called light. Again, the inner workings of darkness manifesting the so-called light. The duet, or so-called duality, coming from one source, Almighty Eternal Nature. You create your own reality from that which is reflected on the black ink space of your mind. The 180-degree turn of the physical to the 180-degree turn or reflection of the spiritual, giving you 360 degrees. on into 180 degrees of creative thought to 180 degrees of creative energy, another 360, thus rendering you, the nunologist, 720 degrees a complete being. The master of time, destiny, and change, the great ultimate reality. The discovering or uncovering of the mirror neuron, nunologist, the discovering or uncovering of the mirror neuron, nunologist, is a scientific confirmation of what our Napatayan Egyptian ancestors knew and taught us all along. When you study nature, you study yourself. In this day and time, it is safe to say that we all have heard this statement: you are what you eat. But many not know the science behind why this is so. Nunologists, the science behind you are what you eat begins with your enteric nervous system. Again, nunologists, the science behind you are what you eat begins with your enteric nervous system. Your enteric nervous system sends and receives impulses, records experiences, and responds to your emotions. The enteric nervous system, nerve cells are bathed and influenced, nunologists, by the same neurotransmitters as the ones in your brain. Thus, you have what is known as the brain-gut connection. That's right. Your brain can upset your gut, and your gut can upset your brain. Nunologist, everything is connected. The all in all, as all in all. Your enteric nervous system is located in the shafts of tissue lining the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestines, and your colon. Your enteric nervous system, nunologist, is a network of neurons, neurotransmitters, and proteins that zap messages between neurons, support cells like those found in the brain proper or cerebrum, and is a complex circuitry that enables it to act independently, learn, remember, and, as the saying goes, produce gut feelings. Intuition. Nunologist, this brain-gut connection deals with a science now known as neurogastroenterology. There are 100 million neurons found in your gut. Again, there are 100 million neurons found in your gut. There are more neurons found in your gut than your entire spinal cord. Major neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, nitric oxide are all in the gut. Also, you can find 24 small brain proteins called neuropeptides in your gut, along with major cells to your immune system. Enkephalins, which is a member of the endorphin family, are also found in your gut. So, nunologists, as you see, what you eat, take into your body, does have an effect on your brain, overall mental state, and conscious awareness. High vibrational foods not only affect your body and overall health, but also too your brain and mind. Speaking about high vibrational foods, nunologists, DHA is a key omega fatty acid responsible for brain development and bone structure. 2/3 of the dry weight of your brain is fat, while 1/4 of this fat is DHA. Nunologists, from a structural point of view, DHA is an important building block for the membranes that surrounds brain cells. These membranes include the areas where one brain cell connects to another, known as synapse. What we are saying, nunologists, is that DHA is involved in the transmission of outformation, meaning creative thought, into information, meaning personal knowledge, and then from one neuron to the next. DHA is a fundamental for efficient brain function. Nunologists, superfoods high in DHA are sardines, salmon, walnuts, super blue-green algae, and flax seeds, just to name a few. Oh, nunologists, always remember that the foods you eat, the water you drink, the things you watch or pay attention to, and the environment you live, all have a major effect on the neuron and your neuron production. You have been listening to the reading of guide number 19, The Neuron, for the nunologists and also the general public. You can purchase this or download it today at lulu.com. All you have to do is just search for Ned Peru or Dr. Ned Peru when you go to Lulu, and you can download that today. Now we will carry on and read from guide number 40, Brain Waves. We'll continue this for our class this evening. Page number 4, starting with verse 1. Oh, nunologist, your brain is made up of billions of brain cells called neurons. Your neurons use electricity to communicate with each other. The combination of billions of neurons sending signals all at once produce an enormous amount of electricity or electrical activity in the brain. Again, your neurons use electricity to communicate with each other. The combination of billions of neurons sending signals all at once produce an enormous amount of electricity or electrical activity in the brain. The electrical activity taking place in your brain is now able to be detected by sensitive equipment known as EEG, which stands for electroencephalography. Electroencephalography is responsible for measuring electricity levels over the area of your scalp. Nunologists, the combination of electrical activity of the brain is known as brain wave pattern. Again, the combination of electrical activity of the brain is known as brain wave pattern because of its cycle and wave-like nature. Nunologists, your mind regulates its activities by means of electrical waves, which are registered in your brain that emit tiny electrochemicals, impulses of various frequencies, which can all be registered by the EEG. Nunologists, your brain has different brain wave states, which vary in degree, have an effect on your conscious level, also your perception, and awareness throughout the course of the day. At any given moment, you can transfer into various brain waves. Again, at any given moment, you, the nunologist, you listening, can transfer into various brain waves or brain states. Once you know the science of your brain waves and how they work, you can access these brain wave states at will. This is the science of knowing the inner kingdom at work. The science of nunology teaches you the inner workings of this kingdom. So now, nunologists, you're asking, what are the various brain waves? Well, they are known as alpha. They are also known as beta, theta, and delta. Each brain wave creates a low-level sound, a tone, frequency, in tune with the sacred rhythm of the planet Earth, onto the boundless universes, multiverses, on into the all in all, beyond. The range of sound, tone, frequency is in the range of 0.02 hertz on into 40 hertz. The beta brainwave state, let's talk about that. The beta brainwave is associated with the heightened state of alertness and focus concentration. When your mind is actively engaged in mental activities such as thinking and reasoning, the dominant brainwave state will be beta. Beta brain waves correspond to the frequency ranges from 12 hertz to 40 hertz. Nunologists, the beta brain wave state corresponds with your frontal lobe in your brain. So when you're at a beta state, your frontal lobe is mostly active. The frontal lobe, front part of your brain, is mostly active. All right? So the beta brain wave connects with the frontal lobe. The alpha brain wave state. Let's talk about the alpha brain wave state. The alpha brain wave vibrates slower in frequency than beta waves and represent a state of relaxed mental awareness or mental reflection. Again, alpha brain waves vibrate slower in frequency than beta waves and represent a state of relaxed mental awareness or mental reflection. The alpha brain wave state is also the state your mind is in during the process of visualization, when your mind is mentally creating. Okay? Alpha brain waves are also typically associated with contemplation and accessing deeper levels of creativity. So if you're being creative, you're in contemplation, you're daydreaming, you're visualizing, you're meditating, you're dropping down to an alpha brainwave state. Nunologists, when you desire to become more mentally creative, we're talking about becoming more mentally creative, right? Tapping into that creative life force energy. Or tap into mental creative energy. Let me repeat that. Nunologists, when you desire to become more mentally creative or tap into mental creative energy, you must drop down into the alpha mindset or alpha brain wave or alpha wave. The sound of om, hum, or om will assist you in accessing the alpha brain wave. Nunologist, all you have to do is hum this sound tone on C major, which is the natural tone of natural nature. The alpha brain wave is in the corresponding frequency range of 8 hertz to 12 hertz. Nunologist, the alpha brain wave state corresponds to the parietal lobe. This sound, tone, brainwave frequency is in the range of what is known as the Schumann tone. So let me go back. Nunologist, this alpha brainwave corresponds with your parietal lobe. So that's not the frontal lobe, but the parietal lobe is right in the middle of your brain before you get to the back. So it's right in the middle. That's the alpha. That's that alpha. So that area right there is when you're dropped into that alpha state. That's where you're. That's the most active. That's the part of your brain that's really active and activated. Okay. So let's keep going. We were talking about the om tone. So let's keep going. The sound, tone, brainwave frequency is in the range of what is known as the Schumann tone or resonance, which vibrates at 7.83. The natural tone of natural nature on the planet Earth. In other words, nunologists, this is the gateway tone, sound, frequency that keeps you in tune and in rhythm with the Earth, the pulse of the Earth tone. Nunologists, when you use your 9th eye to review the mathematical code of the frequency that the Schumann tone vibrates on, you will find that 7.83 hertz is 7 plus 8 plus 3, which equals 18, plus 1 plus 8 from the 18 equals 9, and 9 is the highest number, and our sacred number, the 9 mind, the noon, or nunologist. Nunologists, realize now that your very own immune system is in tune with the pulse of the planet Earth. Yes, your very own immune system is in tune with the pulse of the planet Earth, which is why we've always been told what? When you get sick, you could go out and get some herbs, get something natural, get back in tune with nature, because all the healing is within nature. So your immune system is in tune with the pulse, the heartbeat of the planet Earth. The alpha wave, the healing tone. Let me read that again. Nunologists, realize now that your very own immune system is in tune with the pulse of the planet Earth, the alpha wave, the healing tone. It is the Circadian rhythm, nunologists, your inner day-night cycle, the rhythm of melatonin, serotonin production, and the lack of has an effect on your well-being and this natural cycle. This alpha tone, known today as the Schumann tone, ties into human health, bodily connections to the planet Earth. It is the rhythm of sound, tone, music. Nunologists, all existence began with the sound. Nunologists, another amazing fact that the Schumann tone, 7.83 hertz, is that it is connected to the foundation of all life on Earth. It is the sound of creative life force and new beginnings, recreation, and a fresh new start. Nunologists, I, Dr. Neb Haru, Noon, the master of ascension and solar deity of this day and time, have always told you that we connect to and channel in life force energy. We, Nunologists, deal with life and the forces of life, not death. Listening to this tone, the Om tone, keeps your body aligned with original creative energy we know as Noon, that grew all things on this side of physical reality, or H1, into existence, also known as Nupu, positive energy. Tune your brain to this tone now. The theta brainwave state, let's talk about that. The theta brain waves are even slower in frequency and represent a state of deep relaxation and meditation. Enhanced creative, let me read that again. The theta brainwave state, the theta brainwaves are even slower in frequency and represent a state of deep relaxation and meditation. Enhanced creativity, stress relief, light sleep, dreaming. Theta brainwave states have been used in meditation for thousands of years. Nunologists, just 30 minutes a day of theta meditation can dramatically improve your overall health and well-being. The theta brainwave state corresponds to frequency ranges from 4 hertz to 8 hertz. Nunologists, the theta brainwave state corresponds with your temporal lobe. And last but not least, the delta brainwave state. The delta brainwaves are the slowest in frequency and represent a state of deep dreamless sleep. Delta brainwaves have long been associated with healing. In this brainwave state, nunologists, your body produces somatropin, or human growth hormone, HGH or GH, produced in the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. Nunologists, delta brainwaves normally only occur in deep sleep, but it is possible to train yourself to remain awake while reaching a delta brainwave state, so you can experience an even deeper level of meditation and awareness. The delta brainwave state corresponds to the frequency range from 0 hertz to 4 hertz. Nunologists, the delta brainwave state corresponds with your occipital lobe. So, nunologists, as you can see, sound is traveling or moving through your brain in the form of wave or waveform. Your brain is vibrating as your organs and whole body vibrates, all taking place in darkness, the inner you or inner kingdom, natural nature at work. Destructive sounds and tones, unnatural foods, negative thoughts, stress, fear, worry, regret, hate, etc. can all have a damaging effect on your brain waves and waveform patterns. Nunologists, this is done intentionally by negative forces to keep you out of tune and out of sync with Almighty Eternal Nature, so you cannot hear nature at work speaking to you as her children. Each region, section, or part of your brain corresponds to a particular brain wave. Of course, nunologists, brain waves blend into each other, or as one brain wave begins to end, another brain wave begins to start. And this will conclude the reading of the guide number 40, Brainwaves, on sale now. You can visit our website at www.nupu-noon.com, or you can also visit lulu.com and just type in Neb Haru or Dr. Neb Haru, and all the Noon tablets will come up, and you could download this as an ebook today, or you can purchase the print copy that we have here. And that will conclude our class on that section for this evening.